So we're going to have a look at the mechanical work on this Lincoln. Most of this project really has been mechanical overhaul of the car. So one distinction between a mechanical overhaul and a full restoration is in a full restoration, we would have taken everything apart, media blast it, stripped it to bare metal, we would have refinished it. So not only would we have made it run like new, it would look like new. And on this job, we have taken an existing older engine, we have made it run the best it can, which is, really actually pretty good. We have rebuilt some components, other components we've repaired. We've made this car the best it can be, short of a really substantial project. And I think it's really very good. Now, when you look back here at the dashboard, at the firewall, one thing you can see here is there's a bunch of piping for the air conditioning and heat that's all been taken apart, put back together. This is insulating putty that I have my finger on here. And all this came apart because the dashboard came out of the car since my last video. Everything inside, all the vacuum controls, the heater core, all the evaporator, piping and ducting and what have you, all that stuff is serviced and it's overhauled, and every bit of it is working now as Lincoln intended it. Over here on the other side of the car, we've got, again, you can see that we've converted the system to 134. We've got modern fittings on there. You can see there's a new fuel filter on there. We have a question still about whether we actually need to do something with this fuel pump. You can see we've got new, new ignition wiring, new ignition parts. All of your tune-up, major tune-up stuff on the car is new, and of course it runs really well as a result. You can see we've got new piping for the steering down there. You can see since the last video that the steering box actually has been pulled out of the car and rebuilt. We've had a fair bit of brake work that was shown in the last video. And it's all back together now. Inside the car, it's all together, and during the time that I was kind of knocked down with the shingles these past months, guys actually took all of this apart and they repaired everything that was broken inside, and it's really doesn't look a lot different, but functionally it is totally transformed. Can you start it, Rick? We'll just show them how starts and goes. So, I don't think this car has started to run like that in quite a long time. There's a little hint of rattling from an old engine, but for an engine this age, it's a really kind of nice sounding, smooth running car. We don't have any substantial smoking. Certainly we're not missing, we're not shaking. Inside the car, we've gone through, can you just, so all the windows, the seats, the power seat, all this is working. I showed the power steering work we did, and the car is steering like a vintage Lincoln, and all the lights work. I think actually everything works in this dashboard except the clock, and at some point we could pull that out. You just heard the AC compressor come on. This is an old, the old style compressor, and I can feel the pipe is getting cold and this pipe is getting hot, so the compressor is doing its job. And for the first time, I would say in a long time, the car has both heat and air conditioning. So I would say that with the exception of cleaning up loose ends, things like the fuel pumps and tweaking, we've got to do a final check and make sure all our seals are good in the air conditioning system. We'll do some final checks of the brakes, the parking brake, all those sorts of things. But we are, I would say, almost all the way there with this car, and I'm really very pleased to show all this. It's a really fine piece of work, and the car is so transformed from where we started.